As Ketcham will be leading off here as the roadside, the number 2 seed in their blue and red, White Plains in their black, white, and orange. Alexis Ty will take to the circle here to pitch for White Plains this afternoon. Hodel grounds that one, almost a swinging bunt, and she's going to be safe. One pitch, and she's on base against Alexis Ty. Ty is an outstanding pitcher for White Plains, 13-2 on the season with a 2.45 ERA and 152 strikeouts. And Hodel gets on base, Grace Hodel, with the swinging bunt. So a runner on with nobody out.
Foul ball at the plate for our number 2 batter for the Storm. This is their center fielder, number 2,
Christiana Simu, the center fielder, tried to play a little small ball with that bunt attempt. Fouled it off the home plate, though. Simu's bunt is up in the air, and almost a collision ensues, and the first baseman gets to it, and Anastasio holds on to that bunt as well, and now there's one out here with a runner down at first. Now that brings up Paige Hodel.
Number 24, Paige Hodel.
Paige Hodel hitting .846 on the season. 2 homers, 12 RBIs, 11 hits. She went 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored against White Plains back in April. 0-1 count for Ty. Ty gets the pop-up in foul territory with the mask off, but unable to make the catch was Ty herself. She was trying to communicate with her catcher, McMahon, who was seeing how the wind was swirling and making it a harder play for her catcher. And Ty herself, despite dropping that pop-up in foul territory, all smiles. The wind is really gusting around here in the Haverstraw Sports Complex. It has been rainy and windy all day long. That one is driven out to left center field, and that's going to go against the fence all the way to the warning track. A stumble by the left fielder. Here's the throw home. The relay not in time. And Paige Hodel, who should have been a pop-out victim in foul territory, but because Ty dropped it, was kept alive in that at-bat. She drove it to deep left field off the fencing, and that'll score the runner all the way from first base, and Ketcham is now on top 1-0.
The shortstop, Kaylin Brenner.
Kaylin Brenner will step in, the shortstop hitting from the right side with a runner down at second base and 1 out here in the inning. Brenner hitting .667 on the season, 12 hits, 10 RBIs. What a start here for the Storm, as that is slapped foul to the right side. Again, just a reminder that when these two teams met back in April, on April 22nd, it was a 1-0 win for Ketcham. Already have staked themselves to a 1-0 lead, a runner down at second with 1 out here in the top of the first. Ty's offering is driven backwards for a foul ball. What a costly miscue then by Ty, trying to make that foul catch. Lipped off her glove as she and her catcher were trying to go for it. Grounded down to first, only plays to first by Anastasio. Now there's 2 away, but the runner is down at third. Emma Kozlowski, the first baseman, number 34, stepping in now for Ketcham.
First baseman, number 34, Emma Kozlowski.
Kozlowski went 1 for 2 with an RBI. Last time out, and Al tips that one in the catcher's mitt. Ketcham trying to potentially produce a couple of runs here in the first inning. Ground ball down to the shortstop. The throw is in time by Ritterman. So that'll get us through the top portion of the first inning, but the RBI double by Paige Hodel has powered Ketcham to the early 1-0 advantage. We head to the bottom of the first here in the Section 1 Class AAA final.
There's the starting defensive alignment for RC Ketcham Storm. First baseman is Emma Kozlowski. Second baseman is Grace Hodel. Third baseman is Kaylee Overton.
So we head now to the bottom of the first inning with a 1-0 lead for Royce Ketcham High School. Let's meet the starting lineup for the White Plains Tigers, the top seed in this AAA section. Neela Older is the third baseman, hitting leadoff. Olivia Doria, the center fielder, hitting second. Alexa Ty, the pitcher, is hitting third. Ava Galagani, the second baseman, is hitting fourth. Ava Ritterman, the shortstop, is hitting fifth. Emily Anastasio is playing at first base and hitting sixth in the Tiger lineup. Gianna McMahon is the catcher, hitting seventh. Noelle Quinones is hitting eighth and playing in left field. And Maddie Steptoe is hitting ninth and is the designated player. Chris Rowan is the head coach for White Plains, and Scott Satterley, the head coach of Ketcham. White Plains received a bye in the quarterfinals and outlasted Arlington 6-3 in the semifinals. They've won 14 in a row coming into today's final.
Bottom of the first inning. Third baseman Neela Older.
And Neela Older, the third baseman, will take the first pitch for a ball. Older, a .338 hitter on the season, 1 homer, 12 RBIs, 25 hits. Older swings and misses that offering, 1-1. Kaylee Petrillo is in the circle here today as the starting pitcher for Ketcham. Foul ball, and now it's 1-2. Petrillo went 7 innings, gave up only 3 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts in their win against White Plains back on April 22nd. 1-2 count against the leadoff hitter for the Tigers of White Plains. Dribbles that one fair down the third base line and fielded that time by Kaylee Overton. Over to Kozlowski for the first out of the game. Now the umpires will confer with one another because head coach Chris Rowan asked if they could discuss whether or not it was hit off the foot of Neela Older. So that was the case. So instead of a ground down to third base, simply ruled as a foul ball off of the leg of Older. So now they're saying it was in fact an out. So a little confusion here between the teams, the umpire, and yours truly. So they will deem that to be an out on the play. So Older is retired 5-3. Brings up the center fielder, second place hitter, Olivia Doria. Doria hitting .255 on the season, 8 RBIs, 20 runs scored, 12 hits. She drops down the bunt attempt, but it's going to be a foul ball.
Batter for the Tigers, the center fielder, number 7, Olivia Doria.
Ketcham defeated North Rockland 10-0 in the sectional semifinals. An off-speed pitch on the 0-2, strike three looking. So Doria goes down with a backwards K, and now there's two away. Again, Petrillo with a complete game shutout, the first meeting of the year against White Plains. And now that brings up Alexis Ty.
The pitcher, number 3, Alexis Ty.
Ty is slugging a .396 batting average on the season. 5 home runs, 23 RBIs, 21 hits for Ty, who also is the dominant pitcher for the Tigers. Trying to make amends after dropping that one would-be outs, and she starts off here with a hard-hit ball to center field, so Alexis Ty is a 2-out base runner here for White Plains in the bottom of the first inning. Riley Keene will come on to run for the pitcher, as Ty will collect that hit.
Riley Keene is in as the courtesy runner for the Tigers. And now batting the second baseman, Ava Galligani.
Ava Galligani, .516 batting average on the season. One of the dangerous hitters in this star-studded lineup. Galligani fouls that one off. Catcher and home plate umpire. .516 batting average, 5 home runs for Galligani, 29 runs driven in, 32 hits collected. All speed missing inside from Petrillo. It's now 1-1. $15 extra base hits on the season for Galligani. Galligani grounds that one off of the glove of the shortstop. It looked like that was going to be a base hit, even if she didn't get a piece of it. So Galligani follows the base hit of Ty with one of her own. And now White Plains with runners at first and second, with 2 outs here in the bottom of a 1-0 first inning for Ketcham. Brings up the shortstop, number 9, Ava Ritterman, hitting 5th in the lineup, .417 batting average, 24 RBIs to go along with 2 home runs. That pitch low, inside, it's now 1-0. 25 hits on the season for Ritterman. White Plains dugout, a loud and boisterous side to the left of us. There's a pitch taken inside for a strike, so Petrillo evens the count at 1-1. All speed, let her high. Good pitch there by Petrillo to now get ahead of the count at 1-2. 1-2 count, 2 outs, runners at first and second. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Kaylee Petrillo, and she'll strand 2 on base and give Ketcham a 1-0 lead heading to the start of the second inning of play. You're watching the Section 1 Class AAA Championship, brought to you by the Sports Engine and powered by LocalLive.
Purchase your exclusive championship gear. AIA is Section 1's exclusive merchandise and apparel partner. Lots of great options are available. Stop by and see the championship merchandise table, which is next to the building behind home plate. Near that merchandise table, you'll also see a table that is being set up by the North Rockland girls softball program, and they're selling small refreshments. There's snacks, chips, ice cold waters, Gatorades, and they're for sale. The concession table, which is behind home plate. Umpires for today's game are Matt Grossman, George Zablau, and Ellen Pakula. Leading off the second inning for the
6, 7, and 8 hitters due up for Ketcham here to begin the top of the second inning.
Number 8, Claire
Claire Moore will lead things off, the right fielder, hitting .286 on the season. Moore out in front of that offering from Ty, 0-1. Again, if you're just joining us in that first inning, Ketcham had a pop-up that was in foul territory. It looked like it was going to be easily taken in by White Plains, but they could not complete the catch. The subsequent pitch then was driven to deep center field that drove in the only run of this game. And when these two sides clashed earlier this season, it was only a 1-0 win for Ketcham. Will that play loom large throughout the course of this game? The 0-2 in foul territory. Anastasia will get to it. So there's a foul out there for the leadoff hitter to begin the top of the second for Ketcham.
The designated player, number 3, Ella Thierry.
Ella Thierry, a .429 hitter on the season, hitting from the right side for Ketcham. Missing outside again, 2-0. Wind swirling out to right field, and that's going to be a hard hit base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the warning track, making the turn from first and getting in safely, standing up at second base, is Ella Thierry. Second double of the game for Ketcham. And they have a one-out base runner down at second base here in the second.
Number 12, the pitcher, Kaylee Petrillo.
Third hit of the game for the Storm of Ketcham High School. Brings up Kaylee Petrillo, 8th place hitter, the pitcher in this lineup. Petrillo, .273 batting average on the season. Trying to help her own cause here, already staked to a 1-run advantage at 1-0. Petrillo swings through that one, 0-1 the count. Our opening game of the day was won in extra innings by Clarkstown South, defeating and winning in extra innings 7-6. Defending sectional champs in Class AA, the Harrison Huskies. Petrillo has popped up. Ranging over is the second baseman, Galligani, to make the play, and now there's 2 away. That first game was originally scheduled to start at around 10 a.m., but because of the weather that preceded everything before the first game, it was moved about an hour later, just past 11 a.m. So that moved everything back in the course of this schedule. The second game was supposed to start at 1 and started closer to around 2:20. This is Mia Metz, left fielder, hitting 9th in the lineup, number 18. 0-1 count against Metz. Swing and a miss. Does not connect. Now quickly it's 0-2. White Plains defense, Quinones in left, Doria in center, Valentina Garcia in right. Older at third, Ritterman at short, Galligani at second, Anastasio at first, McMahon doing the catching. 0-2 is popped up in foul territory, first base side. Looking over to see if they can make a play, but it was outside the facility, so it will remain an 0-2 count. Got Satterley cheering on and encouraging his hitter at home plate. Another potential run on base down at second base. Oh, 2 count, runner down at second. 2 away here, top of the second, 1-0 lead for Ketcham. Ty's rise ball too high outside the zone. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Missed inside. Now the count goes 2-2. Last season, Ketcham advanced to the sectional semifinals before losing to North Rockland. Now advancing here to play in the championship round this season. Losses this season have come against Clarkstown South, Brewster, and North Rockland. Ketcham enjoyed a 13-game win streak earlier this year. White Plains on a 14-game win streak coming into today's action. And Ty loses her to a walk. So she was ahead of the count 0-2, and then outside the strike zone, Ty gives up the free pass, and now there's runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
Second baseman, number 27, Grace Photo.
First walk surrendered in this game for Ty. Brings up the top of the order in Grace Hodel. Hodel had a bunt single back in the first inning. She came around to score on the Paige Hodel RBI double.
Hey, you see the ball on the ground now? He collapsed in on it.
Ty getting ready after getting the signs from her dugout. Rise ball too high.
Hey, get it, slow boys. Let's go, 3. Let's go, 3.
1-0 count, runners at first and second. Grace Hodel, kind of a check swing down that left field line. That's going to be foul. A raw day in the upper 50s. Rain has been a part of all of these softball championships right now here today. A little bit of a drizzle. Winds not as gusty as it was at points through the first championship game when it was really blowing out to right field. Wreaked havoc early on in our Class AA final. It's not been a factor so far here yet. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Check down to the umpire at first. They say that Grace Hodel did not go around. 2-2 count. Third base umpire checked with him. Also said that Grace Hodel did not go around. 2-2 count now with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Ketcham leading 1-0. Batting here in the top of the second. Grace Hodel just slapping at that one to stay alive. It remains a 2-2 count. 3 hits already in this game for Ketcham off of Alexis Ty of White Plains. 2-2. Hodel jettisons that one down the left field line, and making a nice play there is Ritterman. And again, that's a case of the winds wreaking havoc a little bit. It was going down that left field line and then started to blow back in. And Ritterman had to adjust to make that fine play. So Ketcham strands 2 on base. We head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 lead for RC Ketcham here in the Section 1 Class AAA final. Emily Anastasio, the first baseman, will lead things off for White Plains to begin the bottom of the second inning. Anastasio, a .280 batting average on the season, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs.
First baseman Emily Anastasio.
Anastasio, first ball swinging, gets it off of the glove of the right fielder Moore, as that'll go all the way to the wall. Anastasio will rumble her way forward into a triple to lead off this inning. A little bit of indecision as she was rounding second, but chopped her steps and still found a way to slide headfirst into third base. Was not content with just staying down at second. So now White Plains with a runner on third with nobody out to begin the bottom of the second inning.
Gianna McMahon.
Brings up Gianna McMahon in an RBI opportunity here. 200 hitter on the season. First ball swinging and fouls it back. Again, Petrillo threw a complete game shutout against White Plains earlier this season, in danger of giving up a tying run here. 0-1 count against McMahon. McMahon threatening to bring the bunt. That pitch was dribbled before he could reach home plate. 1-1. 1-1 count. Runner down at third, nobody out. Infield starting to play in on the edges. Here's a slap hit right down to the third baseman, and because Overton was playing in, that cuts down any chance for White Plains to try to score that runner from third. So there's one out now here in the bottom of the second inning.
Left fielder, Noel Quinones.
Noel Quinones will step in, hitting 8th in the lineup. Sees the first pitch go off the plate for a ball. Quinones, .411 hitter on the season, has driven in 10 runs, 23 hits collected this spring. Quinones lost that to left field. That's going to roll to the wall. More extra bases here for the Tigers. Quinones not even stopping. She will slide her way into an RBI triple. Ketcham was throwing in to second base. Quinones did not even have the thought of a red light. The whole way, once she hit it, past the left fielder Metz, all the way to the fence. She was thinking with her blazing speed, she was going to make it a triple. This is the second triple of the second inning for White Plains, and the Tigers are celebrating their first run against Ketcham this season. Incredible to think an 8th grader making such an impact here in a sectional final of the high school level. But Quinones, blazing speed, was shot out of a cannon there after she produced that extra base hit. Now she is the potential go-ahead run for White Plains, standing down at third base with one out in the inning. And Maddie Steptoe, the 9th place hitter, the designated player, coming up to bat for the first time in this sectional final. Steptoe hitting .364 on the season. 9 RBIs. Here's a prime RBI opportunity as Petrillo gets that 1-4 strike. So 1. Again, a bunt attempt that time by Steptoe. She swings and misses, and now it's 0-2. Rowan barking out the instructions from his third base coaching box. The 0-2. That one is dribbled down to second base. That's going to drive in the run just in time to get the out. That time was Grace Hodel to Kozlowski. But White Plains has generated 2 runs with the bottom of their order here. Nobody on base and 2 outs, and it's a 2-1 White Plains lead here in the second inning.
The Tiger third baseman, Neela Older.
Neela Older is 0 for 1 in this game. Grounded out her first time up to third base. Takes that one for a strike. 0-1. So Quinones and Steptoe each producing RBIs in the 8 and 9 spots in the White Plains lineup. And that's going to be an off-speed strike inside corner, and quickly Older is behind in the count 0-2. So the type of production that you love when you're a head coach, the bottom of your order in a sectional final. Older is jammed, popping it up, and the catcher losing her footing and still stayed with it to make the putout. Paige Hodel lost her footing, and she was dead to rights. There was no chance or time for her to get up, and still the ball just found its way right into her catching mitt. Nice play there to make the third and final out. But White Plains strikes for 2 runs in the bottom of the second. We head to the top of the third. White Plains leads Ketcham 2-1 as you're watching Section 1 Class AAA coverage of a championship final brought to you by Sports Engine, powered by LocalLive.
Leading off for the Storm in the top of the third inning.
To the third inning we go.
Christiana Seymour.
And the Ketcham Storm now trail for the first time against the White Plains Tigers 2-1. Christina Samu, the center fielder, number 20, stepping in. Samu popped up to the first baseman in her first plate appearance, 0 for 1 back in the first inning. Pitch is low by Ty, who's now playing with a lead for the first time in this sectional final. Missed on her first 2 offerings outside the zone. It's 2-0. There's a strike. So Ty gets her first strike in this at-bat. It's now 2-1, the count. Ketcham 1 run on 3 hits in this game. Low pitch by Ty, and she's fallen behind the first hitter she faces here in the third, 3-1. Ty gets the ground ball, and it's backhanded, but booted that time by Older. So that's going to be a leadoff runner on safely for Ketcham. Error on the play there by the third baseman. That brings up number 24, Paige Hodel. Hodel had the RBI double. Deep to the fence back in the first inning. Scored her sister Grace, coming all the way from first. That gave Ketcham a 1-0 lead. The 0-1. Missed high, 1-1. One count. Runner down at first. Nobody out here top of the third. Ty just not finding that location right now. Definitely in the lower quadrant of the strike zone. She's missing low. 1 walk so far given up by Ty in this game. The 2-1. Rise ball too high. It's now 3-1. So the second consecutive hitter that Ty has fallen behind 3-1. Hodel drives that one to center field. Ranging over and making the catch was Doria. Nice job there of reading it right off the bat, ranging over to right center field, and ranging high to make that put out, first out of the third inning.
A shortstop, Kaylin Brenner.
Kaylin Brenner will come up for her second plate appearance. She's 0 for 1. Grounded out to first base back in the first inning. Ty missing upstairs, 1-0. So Hodel nearly had another big swing of the bat there. That one just staying up enough for Doria to range over to make the play in the putout. There's another lofted shot. This one's going to be caught this time by Valentina Garcia, and they were trying the double up, and is there the sign for an out? It is a double play. Samu got off of the bag and could not get back in time, so Garcia made the catch and then threw out the runner who got off the bag, so a double play down at first base to end the inning. So we head to the bottom of the third with White Plains on top of Ketcham by a score of 2-1. 2-1 lead for White Plains as they bat here in the bottom of the third inning. Just got finished with that top portion of the third with a double play, and out recorded it in right field, and then a throw to first. Line drive out. And one pitch, one out. Olivia Doria is retired. So Doria is retired to start the bottom of the third. Now Alexis Ty will step in. Ty had a hard hit ball up the middle to center field for the first base hit of the game for White Plains. They've got 2 runs on 4 hits in this championship final in Class AAA. As Petrillo dribbles that one right in front of home plate to the catcalls of the White Plains dugout. Sawed off that time, and a foul ball down the third baseline. 1-1 the count against Ty. White Plains with a pair of triples in this game in the last inning. That gave them the lead. Off-speed pitch missing a little too high, 2-1. Two-1 is also dribbled low, and now it's a 3-1 count in favor of Alexis Ty. Petrillo looks into the signs from Paige Hodel. Missing on the outside, and that'll be the first walk surrendered by Kaylee Petrillo in this game, as Alexis Ty is now a 1-out base runner in the bottom of the third inning for White Plains. Ava Galligani, who has a base hit in this game, 1 for 1. Courtesy runner again is Keene coming on to the field to run for the pitcher, Ty. First ball swinging and nearly decapitating her head coach.
Galligani.
But Galligani, Chris Rowan had to show off his best moves to get out of harm's way there. That was a hot shot with very little reaction time allowed. Yo one. Galligani taking it low. 1-1. Runner down at first, 1 out, bottom of the third. White Plains trying to increase upon its 2-1 lead. All speed taken low again. Galligani now ahead of the count, 2-1. Two one, Galligani going for the downs that time. Came away empty, and it's now a 2-2 count. Two-two count. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit into left field. Galligani's second hit of this sectional final, and the Tigers now have runners at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Fifth hit of the game now for White Plains. There's a strike inside against Ava Ritterman. Ritterman is 0 for 1, was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Petrillo gave up only 3 hits over 7 innings in the first meeting against White Plains. She gives up another hit here. Station to station base running will now load the bases full of Tigers. Bases loaded with 1 out here. Back-to-back hits by Ava Galligani and Ava Ritterman.
Number 21, the first baseman, Emily Anastasio.
White Plains have produced at least 2 hits in each of the first 3 innings of this sectional final. Now that brings up Emily Anastasio. Anastasio led off the second inning with a triple. Great RBI opportunity here with runners at second and third with 1 out. Anastasio fouled that one off, also deflected off of the home plate umpire a bit. And Paige Hodel will run that ball out to her pitcher, give a little more time for the home plate umpire to be okay. Oh, 0-1 count against Anastasio. Low offering. Scooped up by Hodel. Now 1-1 the count. One is fouled back by Anastasio. It's now 1-2 against the starting first baseman for White Plains. The Tigers trying to roar their way to a 15th consecutive win on the season. Fouled off, staying alive, and it's still a 1-2 count. Bases loaded. 1 out here. Bottom of the third. White Plains trying to build upon their 2-1 advantage over Ketcham. Off speed. Anastasio gets underneath it. Petrillo calling for it herself, but then she's called off. The infield fly was in effect anyway. Kaylee Brenner, the shortstop, was the one who eventually procured possession of the softball.
Gianna McMahon.
So now that brings up Gianna McMahon, hitting 7th in the lineup. McMahon is 0 for 1 today, grounded out to third. Petrillo trying to get out of this jam. Bases remain loaded, but now 2 outs in the inning. McMahon, first ball swinging, fouls that one out of the complex down the left field line. The 0-1. McMahon sees that go across the heart of the plate. Off-speed pitch goes for a strike, 0-2. Petrillo 1 strike away from getting out of this situation. Bases remain loaded, 0-2 count. 2 outs. And that time it hit McMahon, and White Plains will bring in the 3rd run of the day. We saw that be a case in our last championship final, where the bases loaded and a player got plunked in the Class AA final, and now Petrillo, who was so close to getting out unscathed, unscored upon, hits McMahon, who takes her base, gets credited with the RBI, and White Plains now with 3 unanswered runs in this Class AAA final. They stretch their lead now to a 3-1 advantage. Noel Quinones, who had the RBI triple, the 8th grader. It was all smiles after connecting on that hit and then just showing off her incredible speed. A 1 taken off the plate, now a ball, 1-1. Maddie Steptoe waiting on deck. She produced an RBI in the last inning as well. Quinones trying to slash at that one to the left side. Goes foul on the play. It's now 1-2. So once again, Petrillo in position here. 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. She's given up 1 run in this inning here in the 3rd. Quinones again will foul that one off to the left side to stay alive in this at-bat. Second of 3 championship finals here today at the Haverstraw Sports Complex. Quinones trying to hook that one fair, but instead lines it foul down the 3rd base line. Our 3rd and final game of this weekend will feature a matchup of Dobbs Ferry taking on Hastings in the Class B championship. Quinones rounding it down to second, bobbled, and her speed really led to that error. Quinones again just hustling her way down the 1st base line, and Grace Hodel took her eye off the ball, knowing that she had no time to really make that play. Bobbled it, and then Quinones legged it out. So the error leads to another run, and it's a 4-1 advantage for White Plains.
Number 16, designated player.
E4 on that play. And now that brings up the 9th place hitter, Maddie Steptoe. So Quinones, the 8th place hitter, an 8th grader, diminutive but very fast Tiger, has played a huge part in 2 of her team's 4 runs in this sectional final. Steptoe grounded out to second her last time up, but produced the RBI. This might produce another one. No play to be made. An infield hit by Maddie Steptoe. That drives in the 3rd run of the inning for White Plains. And the Tigers are roaring out to a 5-1 advantage. It was bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 count against McMahon, and Petrillo hit her. Since then, the wheels have started to come off a bit for Ketcham. Off speed, strike against Older. McMahon drove in a run after getting plunked. Then an error by the second baseman drove in another run, and then Maddie Steptoe with an infield single drove in the 3rd run of the inning. Older taking that one low for a ball, 1-1. Petrillo about to throw her 54th pitch of the game. Off speed. Really fooled Older that time as Neela Older was well out in front. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Bases remain loaded, full of White Plains Tigers. Older lays off that low delivery. It's now 2-2. Two. Fouled straight back. Staying alive is Older. Leadoff hitter looking for a first hit of this sectional final. Dan Long, Josh Noble, glad that he could join us here on Sports Engine, powered by LocalLive, your exclusive broadcast home of the Section 1 championships. That pitch airmailed outside the zone. The count has run full at 3-2. 2 outs here, nowhere to put her. Older swings and misses at that low pitch, and that will end the inning. But not before White Plains puts up 3 additional runs and now extend their lead to a 5-1 margin as we head to the 4th inning. You're watching the Section 1 Class AAA Championship Final, brought to you by Sports Engine, powered by LocalLive.
Since 1927, Valley has been one of the most trusted banks in the industry with a history of solid financial performance. Valley operates many convenient branch locations and commercial banking offices across New York, New Jersey, Florida, Alabama, California, and Illinois. And they are committed to providing the most convenient service. The latest innovations and an experienced and knowledgeable team is dedicated to meeting customer needs. To learn more about Valley, visit www.valley.com.
White Plains offense was dormant in the first meeting between these two teams back on April 22nd. They've been unleashed here through the first 3 innings of play. White Plains striking for 5 runs over the first 3 innings. They put up a 2 spot in the bottom of the second, 3 more in the bottom of the third as they take a 5-1 advantage with them into the top of the 4th inning here at the Haverstraw Sports Complex. Dan Long, Josh Noble on a cold, rainy afternoon full of softball. Our second of 3 championships here on day number 2 after 2 sectional champions were crowned yesterday. Alexis Ty back in the circle. Sets and fires a low pitch that time to Emma Kozlowski, the first baseman, who's 0 for 1 and grounded out to short back in the first inning. Kozlowski late on that fastball, 1-1. Ty benefited from a double play ball produced by her right fielder to end the 3rd inning. It was caught by Garcia, then Garcia threw out the runner who was trying to get back to first base. She had ventured too far off the bag. Ty has given up 1 run on 3 hits so far in this game. Behind in the count, 2-1, trying to dry off the softball and recollect herself. That one is popped up by Kozlowski. Calling for it in center field is Doria, and there's 1 away to begin the 4th inning. Ty's been pitching to contact all afternoon long. She has yet to record a strikeout here in this game.
Right fielder, Claire Moore.
Claire Moore, the right fielder, will step in. Moore was a foul-out victim to the first baseman back in the 2nd inning, as the wind starts to gust out to straightaway center field. Swing and a miss that time by Moore. 0-1. Allspeed is also inside for a strike. And Ty starting to throw early strikes in these at-bats after she had been falling behind against the hitters early on in this game. 0-2 count with 1 out, nobody on. Ty's fastball too high. 1-2. The 1-2. Popped up in foul territory, ranging over to see if they could make a play, but it was up and over the fencing. That protects in front of the Ketcham dugout. Moore trying to stay alive in this at bat. It's 1-2 count. Moore lines that into shallow left field, and coming over is Quinones to make the putout. Another fly ball out. And now there's 2 away with no one on here in the top of the 4th inning.
Number 3, Ella Terry.
Elatieri, 1 for 1 in this game, had a double back in the 2nd inning. There's a strike inside. 0-1 now for Alexis Ty. 2 of the 3 Ketcham hits in this game have been of double variety. That one is socked right into right field for a base hit. 2-out base hit for Elatieri. Thierry is now 2 for 2 in this Class AAA final. That'll bring up the 8th place hitter, the pitcher, Kaylee Petrillo. Petrillo popped up to second base back in the 2nd inning, where she's now 0 for 1. Inside corner strike for Ty on the fastball. 0-1. Petrillo down the left field line. That is going to be a foul ball just by a matter of inches. Petrillo was giving it a rip, trying to make that extra bases. 0-2 count now against Petrillo. Runner down at first. 2 outs here, top of the 4th. 5-1 lead for White Plains on top of Ketcham in the Class AAA final. The 0-2 from Ty. Missing high. Now 1-2. One, 2, missing just a little too high. Now 2-2. The wind's starting to pick up and swirl around the facility. The raindrops holding off mercifully so right now, but the wind is a factor. 2-2. Petrillo got a piece of it. Sends that to the backstop. We'll do it again at 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner down at first. Ty waiting to throw her 59th pitch of the game. Here in the top of the 4th inning. The 2-2. Petrillo hammers that one to center field, but in front of the warning track is Doria to make the flyout. All 3 outs in that inning by flyout variety to the outfield. And White Plains remains in front by a 5-1 margin as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. As you're watching all the action here, brought to you by Sports Engine, powered by LocalLive. 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for White Plains, who have scored all of their 5 runs over the course of the last 2 innings. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 5-1 lead for White Plains on top of Ketcham. A strike taken by Olivia Doria. Doria is 0 for 2 in this game. Struck out looking in the first, lined out to right field her last time up on 1 pitch in the 3rd. Doria offers at the bunt attempt and fouls it out of play, and now it's quickly 0-2 against her. Petrillo ahead of the count, 0-2. Doria induced into the fly ball, and ranging backwards to make the play was Moore for the first out of the 4th inning.
Number 3, the pitcher, Alexis Ty.
Alexis Ty has reached base safely twice here today. Had a single back in the 1st inning up the middle and then drew a walk in the 3rd inning. Slow off speed, a little too high there for Petrillo. 1-0 the count in favor of Ty. Ty delivers that one to straightaway center field. That is gone. Goodbye. Alexis Ty, a straightaway shot over 210 feet to dead center field. And White Plains, now with 6 unanswered runs in this sectional final, have taken a 6-1 advantage. Alexis Ty with her 6th home run of the season, making amends for when she dropped that foul pop-up back in the 1st inning that led to the Ketcham run. Ty delivering the boom there. 6-1 lead for White Plains. Ava Galligani, 2 for 2 in this game. A pair of singles, 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd inning. That was a majestic shot by Alexis Ty. Only the 2nd home run we've seen so far here at the Haverstraw Sports Complex during the sectional finals. This is the 4th sectional final that we have seen so far. Again, we will be closing out our broadcast coverage in the next game. Galligani ahead of the count, 2-1. And Galligani is hit by the pitch. 2nd hit by batter. The hit by pitch delivered by Petrillo. And now there's a 1-out base runner here with 1 run home in the bottom of the 4th inning for White Plains.
The shortstop, Ava Ritterman.
Ava Ritterman, who's 1 for 2 in this game, steps in. Ritterman sees that one sail too high and wide. White Plains hitters have been making Petrillo work all afternoon long. Petrillo is yet to produce a 1-2-3 inning in this game. There's a strike on 2-0 to make it 2-1. 6 runs on 8 hits in this game for White Plains. That one is down the left field line, and is that a fair ball? They're going to say it's foul on the play. Foul ball is the call down the left field line after Ritterman was trying to go for extra bases. 3 extra base hits by White Plains in this game. 2 triples and a home run in this inning by Alexis Ty. 2-2. Swing and a miss that time. A strikeout for Petrillo. Her 4th punch out of the game, and now there's 2 away. Emily Anastasio was one of those two triples in this game. She's 1 for 2, popped up to short as well as getting that triple in the second inning. Fastball missed upstairs, 1-0 against Anastasio. Gallegani stands down at first base. She was hit by a pitch following the home run of Alexis Ty. Petrillo with a slow off-speed, and that off-speed negated any chance of really throwing out Gallegani, who stole second base. Outstanding play there by Brenner, the shortstop, of getting that in her glove and not allowing it to scamper into center field, which would allow Gallegani to advance down to third herself. Wynn picking up 1-1 count. Anastasio, hard hit ball under the glove of the second baseman. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. It's going to drive in another Tiger run. RBI double for Emily Anastasio. And White Plains flexing its muscles here in the AAA final. They now lead 7-1. A meeting inside the circle as Petrillo talking things over with her defense. That was a hard hit ball by Anastasio. Grace Hodel tried to get over to it, but it went away from her, and then with the speed of that ball, went all the way rolling to the wall. That allowed Gallegani to easily score from second. 2 runs home here in the fourth. White Plains putting up the numbers here, and there's another base hit. That might score another one. Anastasio is rounding third. The throw not going to be in time. RBI single for Gianna McMahon. And White Plains, for the second consecutive inning, have put up a crooked number and put up a 3 spot. McMahon will have the courtesy runner come on for her as the catcher. So all this damage being done with 2 outs in the inning. The RBI double by Anastasio, followed by the RBI single of McMahon. And is this done? Is this day done for Petrillo? Head coach Scott Satterley is talking things over in the circle. 8-1 lead now for White Plains. 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third, 3 more here in the fourth. Again, they were held to only 3 total hits, no runs, back on April 22nd in the loss against Ketcham. I think that was on their minds when they came here to the sectional championship, and their bats have come alive. And still batting here in the fourth inning. Noelle Quinones, 8th grader who has made a difference, and her difference has been felt loud and clear in this sectional final. Takes a pitch off the plate, 1-0. She had an RBI triple in the second inning, forced an error that led to a run in the third inning with her speed down the first base line. Petrillo too high with that pitch, 2-0. And again, this dugout to the left of us in our broadcast vantage point behind home plate for White Plains has been the most boisterous of any team so far in the sectional finals. They have been loud and have been in support of all of their teammates throughout the course of this game and have played a factor in just picking up the momentum. 2-1 the count. White Plains, who were runners-up in the sectional final against North Rockland a season ago, trying to power their way home to a championship. That pitch, again, missing too high. Now 3-1 the count. Maddie Steptoe waiting on deck. She's driven in a pair of runs as the 9th place hitter in the White Plains lineup. And that one is taken outside. That's ball 4. And once again, for the 3rd time in this game, Quinones has found her way on base safely. That is the 2nd walk of the game for Kaylee Petrillo, and I have to think that Petrillo's day is going to be done. As Petrillo will hand the softball off to her head coach, Scott Satterley. As she'll come off the field. And a new pitcher coming in for Ketcham. Maddie Perez will come on as the new pitcher here for Ketcham after Kaylee Petrillo doesn't make it through 4. Perez getting her warm-up tosses in. Again, there were 2 outs in the inning. Doria started off the inning with the fly out to right field. Then Alexis Ty had a majestic home run to straightaway center field. Ava Galligani then was hit by a pitch. Ava Ritterman struck out, so they're 2 outs with 1 on in this 4th inning, only with 1 run gone on the board. But then the damage once again being done by the bottom of the White Plains lineup. Emily Anastasio, the 6th place hitter, with an RBI double, followed by an RBI single by Gianna McMahon. Then Noelle Quinones, the diminutive 8th grader, drew the walk. And now Maddie Septo, the 9th place hitter, will step in. 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Going against Maddie Perez, the new pitcher here for Ketcham. 8-1 advantage for White Plains. Steptoe moving out of the way again, so Perez's first 2 offerings have been outside the strike zone. Runners at first and second with 2 away here for the Tigers. That rise ball, off speed, outside the zone, 3-0. Neela Older, the top of the lineup, is waiting on deck if this inning can continue. Last inning, White Plains sent 9 hitters to the dish. Would they do that again here? And they will. At least 9 hitters as Steptoe draws a 4-pitch walk. And Neela Older will now step in with the bases loaded.
Third baseman, Neela Older.
Older is 0 for 3 at the top of the order. There's a strike for Perez at the knees. 0-1 the count. Older grounded out to third, fouled out to the catcher, and struck out swinging her last time up. Older will foul that one straight back. She and Doria, the top of the order, have yet to get on base here today. The only Tigers who have not been on base yet in this sectional final. Here's the 0-2. Older socks that one to straightaway center field. Ranging over and making a nice play was Samu. But that will end the 4th inning, and another inning that sees White Plains strike for 3 runs in the inning. As we head to the top of the 5th, White Plains in control by a score of 5-1 over Ketcham. As you're watching the Section 1 Class AAA Championship, brought to you by Sports Engine and powered by LocalLive.
Leading off, top of the fifth inning for the RC Ketcham Storm. Outfielder Leah Metz.
Mia Metz, the left fielder, hitting ninth in the lineup. Has drawn a walk against Alexis Ty here today. Is going to be leading things off for the Royce Ketcham Storm to begin the top of the fifth inning. Ketcham scored their lone run in the first inning, took a 1-0 lead, but it's been 8 unanswered runs by White Plains in this game. Swing and a miss there by Metz, and she's behind in the count 0-2. Alexis Ty has not struck out a batter in this game. She of the 152 strikeouts in the season. Rise ball too high. 1-2. A lot of pop-outs in the infield and fly-outs in the outfield. Not even ground balls here today. 1-2. There's another fly-out into shallow right field. Charging in is Garcia for the put-out, and there's one away to begin the fifth.
The second baseman, Grace Hodel.
Leadoff hitter is Grace Hodel, number 27. She had a bunt single in the first, popped up to shortstop her last time up in the second. 1 for 2 is Hodel hitting from the left side. Grace Hodel was threatening with the bunt. Pitch. Say is a strike, 0-1. 'Pitch missed a little too high. One count. Slapped right back to Ty. Fielder position, throws over in time for the second out of the inning. Ty quickly had the reaction. Out of the circle, made the play, and waited for Anastasio to get to the bag before throwing it over. Christina Simu, the center fielder, reached on an error her last time up. Also popped up to the first baseman, Anastasio. Strike. As Ty will jump ahead 0-1. Alexis Ty faced the minimum 3 batters in the third inning thanks to a double play, but she has yet to retire them in order. She has a chance here with a pop-up, and ranging over to make the play just around the fair line was Galligani, and that's a 1-2-3 top of the fifth inning for Ketcham. We head to the bottom of 5 with White Plains in control by a score of 8-1.
Forget softball fans, more Section 1 championship play. After this game, we'll have the Class B championship. Dobbs Ferry and Hastings. The Class B title will get underway shortly after the conclusion of this contest.
White Plains has scored in 3 consecutive innings. 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth as they bat here now in the bottom of the fifth. Olivia Doria looking for her first hit of this sectional final. She's 0 for 3. Struck out looking in the first, lined out to right in the third, and flew out to right her last time up in the fourth. Doria with the bunt attempt. And that's going to be a foul ball. 0-2 the count now against Doria. Low offering that time for Maddie Perez, who came into this game out of the bullpen from the last inning after Kaylee Petrillo could not get through the fourth. Knocked out of this game after having a complete game shutout against White Plains in the regular season. Pop up, and what a play there! A diving effort made by the shortstop Brenner. Into shallow center field, ranging over, made the play and held onto it despite going down to the ground. Brenner with an outstanding play, robbing Doria of what would have been her first hit of the game. That'll bring up Alexis Ty. Ty is 2 for 2 with a home run and a walk in this game. Last time up, sent the home run over the center field wall. Ty fouls it straight back. 0-1 against the starting pitcher for the Tigers, who have given up only one run in this game. Perez is offering, missing to the outside, 1-1. One missing high, 2-1. Perez trying to be very careful against Ty, who launched her 6th home run of the season. So Ty doing it in the pitching circle and also at home plate as a hitter. Everything missing to the outside, 3-1 the count. Perez dribbles that one to the plate, and you can see the respect being paid against Alexis Ty, as Maddie Perez will walk her, and White Plains will have a one-out base runner.
The second baseman.
4th Ketcham walk of the game. Ava Galligani has reached base safely all 3 times she's batted in this game. Swings through that one and does not connect. Galligani had a single in the first, a single in the third, got hit by a pitcher last time up in the 4th. Perez missing outside, 1-1. Missing low again. Perez hasn't been consistent in her pitches since coming into this game out of the bullpen. Has given up a couple of walks in this one. Swing and a miss. Galligani was out in front, fooled that time. It's now 2-2. Galligani will go shopping at the gap as that rolls all the way to the fence. Extra bases for her. She reaches base safely for the 4th time this afternoon. Runners at second and third with one out here as White Plains threatening yet again on offense. '11th hit of the game for White Plains. Brings up the shortstop, Ava Ritterman, who's 1 for 3, had a single in the third. Has been a strikeout victim twice in this game. Perez's pitch missing low. Eight runs on 11 hits in this game. Now for White Plains. As that time Ritterman will foul it straight backwards. 1-1 count. Perez looking in to her catcher, Paige Hodel. All speed missing high and outside. 2-1. That time it is socked to straightaway center field, and that's going to be a 3-run homer. White Plains just powering their way here in the sectional final. As White Plains celebrating their second home run of the game, Ava Ritterman dialing it up deep. For Ritterman, her third home run of the season, driving in 3 on that hot shot to straightaway center field.
The first baseman, Emily Anastasio.
And for the third consecutive inning, White Plains has put up a 3 spot. They now lead by 10. 11 unanswered runs in this game for the Tigers. They lead 11-1. Twelve hits now here today for White Plains. 6 extra base hits. 2 triples, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. 1-1 count against Anastasio, who has a triple and a double. Drove in a run her last time up with that double in the 4th inning. Both of the home runs for the Tigers coming straight away here at the Haverstraw Sports Complex. Missed inside. Now 3-1 the count. White Plains doing to Ketcham what Ketcham did to North Rockland in the last round, leading now by 10. Anastasio taking the pitch on 3-1. It's now 3-2. Three-two, missing outside, ball 4. And Anastasio will take her base, still with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Three walks now for Maddie Perez since coming into this game.
Number 19, Gianna McMahon.
Gianna McMahon, who has produced 2 RBIs in this game. She was hit by a pitch when the bases were loaded in the 3rd inning. That drove in a run. And then she had an RBI single her last time up in the 4th inning. McMahon grounds it down to 3rd, on to 2nd for 1. The throw over to 1st, not in time, but they will get the lead runner down at 2nd with the force out. So 5-4 fielder's choice that time. Hit into by McMahon, and that'll bring up Noel Quinones.
Left fielder, Noel Quinones.
Quinones, what a story she has been here. Has reached base safely in all 3 plate appearances in a sectional final, playing on this varsity team as an 8th grader. RBI triple in the 2nd, reached on an error that led to a run in the 3rd, drew a walker last time up in the 4th. Off the plate, 2-0 in favor of the 8th place hitter in the White Plains Tiger lineup. Maddie Steptoe's had a sensational game herself, waiting on deck, the 9th place hitter. There's a strike on the outside edge by Perez, 2-1. So the 8 and 9 hitters have been on base 5 times in this game for White Plains, have produced 3 RBIs as well. They've been getting the production in the bottom of the order, and the top of the order have gone a collective 0 for 8. Go figure. 3-1. And there's ball 4. So Quinones once again on base for the 4th time in this sectional final. Draws her 2nd consecutive walk. Third walk of the inning given up here by Perez. There's been another long inning of offense for the White Plains Tigers. Highlighted by the 3-run homer for Ava Ritterman. There's a swing and a miss.
Tigers, number 18, Abby Dorchak.
Abby Dorchak is batting here in the ninth spot for Maddie Steptoe. So Dorchak with her first plate appearance in the sectional final. .318 batting average for Dorchak, 6 RBIs on the season. As that pitch misses. 1-1 count. Runners at first and second. 2 away here, bottom of the 5th inning. Dorchak got a piece of that one, slivers it down to first base, but it's going to be deemed a foul ball. So she's still alive in this at bat, but now facing a 1-2 count. Perez trying to get out of the inning. Here's the 1-2. Dorchak again fouls it down the first base line. Eighth hitter of this inning for White Plains. In the last 2 innings, they have sent 9 hitters to home plate in each of those innings. Low pitch by Perez. Now 2-2. Again, runners at first and second here in the 5th inning. Dorchak rounded it down to shortstop. A little bit of hesitation that time and not getting the clean handle by Brenner, but Brenner still had enough time to get it over to Overton for the force out down at third. So we are through 5 innings of play in this Section 1 Class AAA final, and it's all White Plains here on top by 10, 11-1. The Section 1 championship being brought to you by Sports Engine, powered by LocalLive.
And be sure to stop by the Section 1 championship merchandise table during today's event to purchase your exclusive championship merchandise. AAA is Section 1's exclusive merchandise and apparel partner. Lots of great options are available, so check out that merchandise table. It's located next to the building behind home plate. Also adjacent to the merchandise table, we have the North Rockland softball program. We've set up a concession table. Get yourself some cold drinks, chips, and other snacks. North Rockland softball has a small concession area set up behind home plate.
Sixth inning. Alexis Ty throws her 67th pitch of the game, as that will float in for a strike this time against Paige Holtley.
Better number 24, Paige Holtley.
Hodel gets underneath this one, but it's going to be a can of corn in center field that time for Doria, who camps out underneath it for the putout. So Hodel, who had an RBI double that scored the lone run of the game back in the first inning, flew out to center field in her last 2 at-bats, and there's one away to begin the top of the 6th.
Number 00, Kaylin Brenner.
Kaylin Brenner, the shortstop. Fastball inside, backed her off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Brenner grounded out to first back in the first and then lined into a double play her last time up in the third. She flew out to right field and then subsequently the right fielder threw behind the runner who did not get back to first in time. And that ended the third inning. Ty has retired 5 in a row. Ty has given up only 4 hits in this game and 1 run. Brenner will send that one to left field, and charging in is Quinones for the second out of this top of the 6th.
Number 34, the first baseman, Emma Kozlowski.
Ty showing why she was 13-2 on the season coming into play today. 2.45 ERA. First baseman Emma Kozlowski stepping in. She's 0 for 2. Grounded out to short. Also flew out to center field. Ty pitching to her defense all game long. She has not produced a strikeout in this game, yet she leads and has only given up 1 run. They appeal down to the umpire at first. They say that Kozlowski did go around, so that's a strike. Not a single strikeout, yet she is 1 out away from getting through 6 innings. Seven flyouts to her outfield. She is just consistently getting these hitters to just pop up. Ahead of the count now against Kozlowski, 1-2. Inside corner, strike 3 called. There's the first strikeout. And Ty retires the side in order yet again. She has retired 7 in a row since giving up a single in the 4th inning. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning with White Plains in control here in this Class AAA final.
A full-service solution. The official broadcast partner of the Section 1 Championships. Watch online anytime at LocalLive.tv.
White Plains top of the order for the Tigers. 1, 2, and 3 hitters due up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tigers have scored in 4 of their first 5 innings of work here today. They were scoreless in the first, 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth, and 3 more in the 5th. Mila Older looking for her first hit of the game, but she grounds it out to short, and she will remain hitless as Brenner got it over to Kozlowski for the first out of the inning.
Center fielder Olivia Doria.
So Olivia Doria will step in. She is also hitless in 4 plate appearances today. Perez winds and delivers that one that's fouled back by Doria. Struck out looking in the first, lined out to right in the third, flew out to right in the fourth, and then popped up her last time up to shortstop in the 5th. Doria sends that one deep to left field. Ranging over, unable to make the play was Metz, deep in left. And that's going to be the first base hit of the day for the center fielder for White Plains. She's got a one-out double here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 13th hit of the game now for White Plains. And another extra base hit at that.
Pitcher, Alexis Ty.
Alexis Ty, who dialed it up deep with a solo home run her last time up in, well, not last time up in the 4th, I should correct myself. In the 4th inning, she hit the solo home run. She drew a walker last time up in the 5th. She's 2 for 2 with a home run, an RBI, and has drawn 2 walks. Has reached base safely in every plate appearance so far in this sectional final. A 1-1 count against her. Her solo home run was to straightaway center field, and it was a no-doubter. One of 2 White Plains home runs here today in the championship. 1-1, there goes Ty again, driving that one to left field, but Metz is underneath it. And that's the first time that Ty is retired here today. Two outs in the inning now with a runner down at second base. Ava Galagani has reached base safely in all 4 plate appearances. 3 hits and also got hit by a pitch. Galagani fouls that one back. 0-1. Ava had a single back in the 1st, a single in the 3rd, got hit by the pitch in the 4th, and then produced a double her last time up in the 5th. 0-1 count, 2 outs here with a runner down at second. Skipped right around home plate. 1-1 the count. Galagani with a healthy rip there. Came away with air. 1-2 the count. One and two, runner down at second. 2 away here, bottom of the 6th inning. Galagani with a hot shot. Whoa, what about that reaction there from Maddie Perez? Absolutely robbed Galagani of a RBI opportunity straight up the middle, and Perez just instinctively caught it, looked back, and then dropped the softball down. That was an outstanding play there by Perez. That's all self-preservation. We're through 6 innings of play. We head to the top of the 7th as White Plains 3 outs away from hoisting the hardware here in Class AAA.
Leading off the top of the 7th inning for the Storm, right fielder Claire Moore.
So Alexis Ty takes the softball here, trying to finish off this work of art as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Ty's first pitch is fouled back by Claire Moore. Alexis Ty has allowed only 1 run on 4 hits in this game, has walked 1, struck out 1. She has pitched to her defense and done so efficiently as well. About to throw her 77th pitch here at the beginning of the 7th inning. Off speed, just missed a little too high, gave a little shoulder shrug, said, yeah, might as well try it. One popped in and out of the mitt with the swing and a miss, and now it's a 1-2 count. Blair Moore 0 for 2 today. Foul down to the first baseman, also flew out to left field. The wind gusting, but the rain has not really been a factor in the second game of the day. It was raining throughout the first game. Again, this will be the second game of the day, and will be followed by our third and final Section 1 softball championship of the season. That's coming up in our third game. Dobbs Ferry taking on Hastings in the Class B final. Gonna watch that here on Sports Engine, powered by LocalLive, live and on demand. Swing and a miss on the slow pitch. They'll complete the throwdown for the second strikeout of the day for Alexis Ty, and there's one away to begin the top of the seventh. Ella Thierry is 2 for 2 in this game. She's been the best Storm player so far in this one. A double for Thierry in the second, a single last hitter that reached base safely against Ty in the fourth. And Ty will plunk her. And that's the third time that Thierry has now reached base safely in this sectional final. First time that Ty has hit a batter in this game. Terry is smiling and laughing as she's taking her base down at first base. I think because of the sound that she elicited was more similar to maybe one of the professional tennis players. That grunt. You could just tell that hurt. There's a pitch for a strike.
For Ketcham, number 14, Mae Cassidy.
Pinch hitter here for the first time, Mae Cassidy. Maeve Cassidy is a freshman getting a chance here to have an at-bat in the sectional final. Behind in the count, though, 0-2 is Maeve. Pitch miss on the outside, 1-2. Before hitting Thierry, Ty had retired the last 8 in order. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout of the game now piled up by Ty, and Ketcham is down to their final out of the sectional final. Left fielder, Mia Metz. Metz drew a walk in the second and flew out her last time to right field in the fifth. Ty missing low.
Number 18, Mia Metz.
White Plains in search of their 18th win of the season. Metz fouls it back. 1-1 the count against the 9th place hitter. If she can continue things here, it would bring up the top of the order in Grace Hodel. Oh, 1. Time miss low. 2-1. Thierry is down at first after getting hit by the pitch. Two 2-1 is grounded down to short, ranging over, down to second, burst. Ritterman gets the final out of the game. And your 2025 Section 1 Class AAA champions are the White Plains Tigers. What a dominant performance by White Plains. They lost the pitching duel back in the regular season against Ketcham. And I think that was on their minds this time around. No doubter about this one. White Plains erupting for 11 runs in this contest and holding Ketcham to only one lone run. That was back in the first inning of play. 11 runs on 13 hits. Alexis Ty was brilliant yet again in the circle, getting the win and also delivering a couple of big hits herself, including a solo home run. So White Plains will win the sectional championship by a final score of 11-1. And once again, claim the Section 1 Class AAA championship here at the Haverstraw Sports Complex. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage of game number 2 on day number 2 of the 2025 Section 1 championships. For my cameraman and producer, Josh Noble, I'm Dan Long saying so long here from the Haverstraw Sports Complex. You've been watching the Section 1 Class AAA Softball Championship, brought to you by Sports Engine and powered by LocalLive. Take care, everybody.
And we ask you, the fans, to remain in the seated area as we have this brief awards presentation. On the field to present the awards, we have the Executive Director of Section 1 Athletics, Mr. Todd Santabarbara. Joining him with the awards presentation, Section 1 Softball Committee Chairperson and Athletic Director at Arlington High School, Mr. Mike Kring. Now the presentation of the 2025 Class AAA Section 1 finalist plaque. We'd ask the captains and the coaching staff of the Varsity Ketcham Storm to please come forward to receive your award. Congratulations once again to the RC Ketcham Storm on a great season. And now we'd like to present the 2025 Section 1 Team Championship plaque. And we'd like to call the coaching staff, Coach Chris Rowan and Keith Maley, along with the captains of the White Plains High School Tigers. Now the committee at this time will present our Section 1 Class AAA Softball Championship medals. As your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. First we have Kaylin Street, Alexis Ty, Julissa Diclo Cruz, Noel Quinones, Neela Older, Olivia Doria, Ava Galligani, Ava Ritterman, Riley Keene, Valentina Garcia, Maddie Steptoe, Abby Dorchak, Gianna McMahon, Emily Anastasio. Coaching staff, the assistant coach is Keith Maley. And the head coach is Chris Rowan. And now the committee will present the final award, the presentation of the 2025 Section 1 Championship Gold Glove will present it to the captains and the rest of the White Plains Tigers. Once again, congratulations once again to both teams. A terrific season for the Storm. Special congratulations to the Tigers as they move on to regional play.